Yeah, incredible. Thank you guys so much for being here. We have amazing folks in the chat. Everyone's just dropping these lollipops, saying how beautiful it is, and that's
Lollipops,
exactly
baby.
what's that?
I said lollipops, baby.
Exactly. It's we're getting into the fall. Candy will be abundant sooner than later, so we might as well start early. And that's exactly the kind of love we love to see here on our band show. So thank you guys so much for being here. Of course, like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with a friend or two or three. It would greatly help our show, but more importantly, it will help Jack and his band. So with that said, a little sneaky there, Jack. Given you did say you were playing some tunes that are coming out soon, and that last one I believe comes out real soon, right? October 18th. Grow Up by Jack Manley. And we have a lot more to discuss this episode and this interview. And to help me do so, I'd like to introduce my co-producer, Patrick W. Huber, to the show. Pat, how you doing?
Hey, Christian. I am doing fantastic this evening. And man, Jack Manley and the rest of the guys, this is just an amazing evening. I am having a great time, and the music is just really perking up my ears, and I'm really digging what you're doing.
For sure. And there's so much to discuss, Pat. So where should we dive in?
Well, Christian, basically during the last interview, Jack, you talked about basically having that connection with Coheed and Cambria. And I believe we talked about in the pre-meeting that you know the drummer, and the drummer, you have a working relationship musically with.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if you could shed some light on that.
Yeah, for sure. First off, welcome. Lollipop, drop, boom. Lollipop in the chat. Yeah, no, Josh Everard, the drummer of Coheed and Cambria, is a really close friend. I mean, I would probably call family at this point. Grew up with him. I got to see the whole, sort of Coheed ascension firsthand as a kid, and I'm sure that obviously very much informed my music, my taste in music. But yeah, Josh is a really great friend, and once I got out of the hospital, I shared some demos I made with Billy, and Josh immediately wanted to. He was in, he wanted to participate. So he's on the EP. He played drums on the EP, and we actually made some more recordings with him. I don't know. It's an interesting relationship. Josh is a very interesting guy, very talented, and obviously, the rest of the guys in Coheed are incredible, mega stars. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm just lucky to have had that relationship, and the way it's developed over the years through, all the challenges both Josh and myself have endured.
Really cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that he drummed on that EP. More reasons to go back and keep listening to the tunes.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you listen hard and you're a fan of his drumming, it's pretty apparent. But I
also didn't realize Billy was there from pretty much the start of you writing these songs.
Yeah, I mean, I think within a month, perhaps. Basically, I composed the songs in the hospital, got out. Billy and I were trying to connect before I went into the hospital, but I think he could sense that I wasn't, maybe ready or okay. I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'd love to know what hearing these songs for the first time was like for you, Billy.
I think I heard most of these for the first time when you got out. We met maybe once right before you went in, and you had some ideas, but they were a lot rougher than. So yeah, it was really exciting when you got out and had more hashed out ideas that I thought were really catchy. Kind of reminded me of the old Jack Cosmonaut days. So.
Oh, so you were aware of Cosmonaut. You had known each other for quite some time.
Yeah, we both kind of lived in New York City at the same time, and Jack was doing Cosmonaut, and I was playing in some other bands, kind of adjacent.
So what would you say excited you the most about hearing those songs for the first time, Billy?
I think I just felt that there was like a real depth to them, and like they were coming from a real place. So I really wanted to kind of explore them with Jack to get them right, you know?
So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just hadn't maybe felt that in a little bit, gone through some of my own stuff, and it was just refreshing to hear something that's like, okay, this is from the heart, you know?
Yeah, totally. And so Noah and Josiah, you guys both first heard these songs at the Colony open mic. Is that correct?
Noah did.
Actually, I first heard these songs live at this venue right across the street from the Colony, called
Graveside.
Graveside.
Yeah,
Graveside Variety.
Yeah. That was a fun show.
No, yeah, it was incredible, and I remember physically shaking in my seat when I first heard these songs, because I could not only could, like, you know, I hear space for drums and things, but similar to Billy's experience, it was like, oh wow, like this is new, this is fresh, but it also feels really honest and genuine and sincere, and it's just like, you know, a once in a lifetime sort of moment where you're like, oh crap, you know, like this is like this is awesome.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, and the way that I ended up hearing the songs and joining, me and Noah actually knew each other before. We both live in Connecticut, and we met at a venue called Crunch House. Shout out Crunch House. It's literally like the most underground of underground venues behind an abandoned laundromat. And we met there, and we ended up playing in a couple bands, and then he went off to college, so, you know, we weren't playing anymore. And I guess they ended up needing a bassist, and one day, as I was about to hop in the shower, I get a call, and I'm like, oh, it's Noah, and I haven't heard from him in a couple months. So I answer, and he says, yeah, they need a bassist. He asked me if I was interested, put me in a group chat, sent me the projects, and when I first listened, I was just dumbfounded. Like, I think that's when I knew that at least that I wanted to try out to join, because I heard it and I was like, no way this isn't famous. Like, no way this isn't already a thing, you know? It sounded like something that I would have, that, you know, everyone would know. And yeah, I drove up to New York, tried out, and here we are.
Amazing. Pat, the more we talk to these guys, the more rich and just beautiful the story gets. It's like we just keep uncovering more amazing details that with these songs being so emotional and personal, I don't know, it just makes me love them even more.
Yeah, Christian, we're talking about, you know, the music and how it makes us feel, but Jack, I kind of wanted to ask you about the packaging of your music, because with the EP, you know, you have this like collage style artwork going on.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I was curious if you could kind of go into that, and maybe you're thinking about like the graphics that go along with your music.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think to deny that, you know, like the visual element of music, right, is it's really important, right? It greatly informs and can really enhance the experience. So I just really wanted to meet the songs where they were, like to be as radically, you know, direct and honest and transparent as the songs are lyrically and emotionally, to try and translate that to a visual medium. So what I ultimately did was I reached out to a friend, Eric, from the Wild Honey Pie, very talented guy, and he actually assisted in creative direction for the artwork. And what we did was we just sort of like talked it out, and you know, I wanted to include, first off, I wanted there to be like total cohesion between the singles art, right? And additionally to have like Easter eggs, so to speak, you know? So for instance, the cover of Tightrope Life, there's some text on it in the collage, and it's actually describing the symptoms of a naloxone reversal agent, which is basically used to save people from overdosing. So there's that, and there's gosh, what else is there? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. But essentially they're all connected thematically, and in some cases very harsh and direct, the visual language.
I really love the lyric videos too. They have a very hand-drawn, and I almost want to say like carefully sculpted feel to them, which I think it makes sense hearing what you're saying about all the little details.
Yeah, thank you. And then like, for instance, in the Smackwater music video, like, there's like a quick flash of naloxones like spinning around in a circle, which, that was my request. And so yeah, it was a really fun collaborative process that was really intentional. Like these songs, I think they come from a place of radical honesty. I think that's why people, including, my bandmates, have responded to them. And, so shout out to the Wild Honey Pie, Eric, for helping, translate my ideas, because, it can be challenging. It's a challenging process sometimes.
Speaking of intense, you guys intend to put out new music soon. Of course, Grow Up on the 18th. Where can folks find that? And just keep their eyes peeled.
Yeah, for sure. Grow Up is coming out on October 18th. There will be a music video as well. I mean, that'll be everywhere music is consumed these days. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, we would really appreciate it if you checked it out. And in the meantime, we have a lot of recordings, and we're sort of just figuring out what we want to release next. We're just, trying to be very intentional and make sure that each song and release accurately represents where we are artistically, and additionally says something about, in this case, my life. So it's all about radical honesty, man.
For sure. I think that's why we all here on set and the folks in the chat feel so drawn to the tunes you're playing tonight. And we appreciate you being so open and just giving us a great conversation and great performance here. So anything else the folks can expect on the horizon? Are there any other hard dates? I know you have a lot of new music that you're kind of sharing for the first time on air here tonight. That's been recorded, maybe not released yet, or in varying stages of demos, but we know October 18th, we have Grow Up coming out. Any other hard dates before we jump into another set of music?
We, so that for recordings, releases, that's the only thing on the books. We're playing Berlin in New York City, Wednesday, November 20th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I can't believe I nailed that. That's crazy.
No, I'm really impressed. That was spot on.
Wow. I need a lollipop. Yeah. So, I mean, besides that, just stay tuned, stay connected with us, and you're either going to get another EP or, maybe something else pretty soon. But we're workshopping a lot of material right now, and again, it's just important that whatever we do put out is meaningful, right? And says something.
For sure. Before we jump into this next set, I noticed you changed guitars.
I did, yeah. So, my primary guitar is an acoustic, and here is my lovely SG. So, funny story about this. I actually got a full ride to Fordham University. I was extremely lucky. I basically failed out of high school, and then I went to community college for a year and did really well and wrote a compelling enough essay to get into Fordham, and they gave me, this big grant. So with that big grant, they gave me some money for books, and I never got the books, but I got this guitar, and at the time, and I mean, still to this day, I think it's like one of the nicest things I own. And yeah, this was used for Cosmonaut a little bit. It wasn't my main guitar, but I had it during those days, and yeah, it's a storied instrument.
How'd you do that semester?
Oh gosh, you know,
you graduated, so
I graduated for sure.
But was this in the days of like textbooks, PDFs abundant, or was that a little more difficult?
It was
Did you really gamble.
It was
on
a little
this?
more difficult. I totally
Okay.
gambled. I remember just like borrowing friends' books, making photocopies, and then just like, you know, faking it through. For whatever reason, you know, I was able to get through that experience. And you know, philosophy class is really good for writing lyrics too. I'll tell you that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There's some great lyrics coming up. So without further ado, Jack, I think it's time to give the folks some more tunes, if you're all right with that.
Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna change up the mood for a bit.